Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Hey, welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. There's a very small space in our lives that we do not talk about enough. It is the space between what happens to us and what we do next. Someone says something that lands the wrong way. Maybe it is sharp, dismissive, or careless. Maybe you were already having a difficult morning and their tone catches you in exactly the wrong place. You feel the answer forming almost instantly. You know what you could say back. You may even feel justified in saying it, and perhaps you are justified. But before the words come out, there's a moment. It may be so brief that we hardly notice it, but it is there. It is the moment before irritation becomes an argument. The moment before hurt becomes hurtful. The moment when we still have the ability to decide what kind of energy we're going to add to the world. That moment is where love becomes real. It's easy to think of love as something we feel toward people who are close to us, or something we believe in when we are calm and comfortable. But love reveals itself most honestly when another person has given us a reason not to offer it. I was thinking about how often a whole day can be shaped by one ordinary encounter. You're standing in a checkout line, or driving in traffic, or answering a question at work, and somebody comes across as rude. You don't know what is happening in their life. You only know how they made you feel in that moment. Our first reaction can be so quick that we assume they are thoughtless. We decide they don't care. We may even carry that encounter with us, letting it affect how we speak to the next person. But what if, in that small pause, we allowed for one other possibility? What if that person is barely holding themselves together today? That doesn't mean every unkind action has a hidden noble explanation. It does not mean we should let people mistreat us. Grace is not permission for someone to keep causing harm. It is simply the willingness to remember that we are seeing one moment of a life that we don't fully know. Maybe the cashier who seemed impatient just received news about someone they love. Maybe the coworker who answered too abruptly has been awake half the night with fear hanging over them. Maybe the person who failed to show warmth is struggling to find any warmth inside themselves right now. We can't know. That's exactly the point. When we don't know, we have a choice about the story we tell ourselves. We can assume the worst and respond as though we have seen the whole truth, or we can leave a little room for the possibility that something painful is happening behind the face in front of us. Sometimes all it takes is just a breath, guys. Not a dramatic act of self-control and not some grand spiritual accomplishment. Just enough of a pause to realize I do not have to return this feeling exactly as it came to me. And that is a powerful realization, because pain has a way of traveling. Someone is wounded somewhere else, then brings the edge of that wound into an encounter with you. You feel it, and naturally you want to send it right back. But if you do, it may continue on through another conversation and into another home. Before long, something that began in a place you never saw has spread into the lives of people who had nothing to do with it. But it can also stop with you. That does not require you to pretend something did not bother you. It does not require you to be or to smile through behavior that needs to be addressed. Sometimes love speaks clearly And sometimes love says, "That hurt," or says, "Please do not speak that way to me." The difference is that love does not have to punish in order to be honest. We can protect our dignity without trying to wound someone else's. I think many of us look back on certain moments and wish we had taken that pause. We remember a conversation that went too far or a reply we gave when we were tired and defensive. Later, when the heat is gone, we can suddenly see the other person again. We realize they are not an enemy. They were someone we loved or someone simply trying to get through the day, and for a few minutes, we lost sight of each other's humanity. I've had those moments, and I imagine you have too, probably many. That is why this is not a message about becoming perfectly patient. None of us will respond beautifully every time. We all have places where we are tender, and occasionally someone will touch one of those places before we have time to prepare ourselves. The practice is simply learning to notice sooner, to notice the tightening inside you, to notice when you're about to speak only because you want someone else to feel the discomfort they just caused you, to notice that for one more second you're still free to choose another direction. That choice may look very ordinary from the outside. Perhaps you soften your voice instead of raising it. Perhaps you ask someone whether they're okay before deciding they're simply being difficult. Perhaps you let a minor offense pass without making it carry more weight than it deserves. You may never know what that moment meant to the other person. A stranger may go home feeling just a little less alone because you did not add to the burden that they were already carrying. Someone close to you may remember that you gave them room on a day when they were not at their best. A difficult conversation may find its way back toward understanding because you choose not to slam the door while there was still a chance to walk through it together. This is not weakness, guys. It takes very little strength to react from anger when anger is already waiting for us. It takes something deeper to feel that anger and still ask whether love has a better answer. And sometimes the person who most needs that pause is you. There will be days when you are the one who is overwhelmed. You will be the one whose words come out with more edge than you intended. You will need the grace you have practiced giving to others. You will need someone to see past your rough moment and remember the person beneath it. That is part of the thread connecting all of us. At different points in our lives, each of us will need somebody else not to judge us solely by the hardest minute they happen to witness. So today, maybe we can begin by watching for that quiet opening before we react. Not with pressure and not with guilt, but with awareness. When something in us rises quickly, perhaps we can wait long enough to see whether the moment is asking for a fight or whether it is offering us a chance to change what happens next. There may be more grace inside that pause than we realize. And when we choose it, even once, we do something beautiful. We remind another human being and ourselves that pain does not always get the final word. Sometimes love steps in first. I love you guys very, very, very much. And you know what I need you to do? Go out and pass that on, okay? Later, Gators. Bye-bye.